Hello and welcome to Scared to Read. It's been a while, guys. It's been a while. I am so sorry. I meant to do these a lot more often, but unfortunately, life gets busy. Today, we're going to be reading The Diary of the Coyote. It is a book that I have been writing since college, and I've been fully making it into a short story book a few months ago. And I just want to read a few pages of this to you guys today. The book is planned to fully release soon, hopefully soon, within the next couple months. It is 7 short stories, all tying around a deity from North America slash the Native Americans folklore. Well, we'll say folklore, but it's what they believe in, so I don't want to be too offensive. But this is called Coyote. The coyote is a wisdom and trickster deity based in their beliefs. So I took that idea and mixed it into this horror anthology series that is all connected but not connected, telling the diary and story of the coyote. Now, this is the cover art. It is final. Some of it broke off, so I might have to shrink it down. But I do kind of like having these little bars as page brackets, which I might do and continue to do. This is cover art. As you can see, it's got some symbolization of the creature and entity with a pendant going through it. The coyote is a trickster, so you never know where he'll appear. And he has a few notes through the book. I don't know how often he will have his input or his say. But let's start the reading with his intro. To those who turn these pages, understand this. You hold in your hands a record of the lost, the foolish, the damned, 7 souls who by their own choices walked willingly into the dark. I did not take them, they were offered. They were earned. I am Coyote. I have watched for centuries, seen the patterns of humanity twist and repeat like a serpent devouring its own tail. You think yourselves wise. You think you have control, but wisdom is a fickle thing. It is not measured in knowledge or in power, it is measured in choice. The ones within these pages, they all made choices, and now they belong to me. Read their stories, learn from them. If you can, but be warned, knowledge is a door, and once it's open, it cannot always be closed. Perhaps you will walk away unshattered, or perhaps by the final page, I will have learned your name as well. Now, this is meant to be an interactive kind of book, but it's not very interactive in a sense. I want the story to be told in these notes or throughout little secrets and little Easter eggs throughout the book. This is one of them. This is him introducing himself to the reader. It's kind of the same feeling when you find the Death Note, where there's no author, there's no rhyme or reason on how you got it. It's just there. That's why there's no title on the book. Instead, the title will appear at the end along with the author. It's meant to look like this to be more like inviting to the horror themes and the eeriness of them. Now, the first story, if I can go to the next one, is each story is called an entry. Entry 1 is Wake Up. Liz opened her eyes to the dim glow of her bedside lamp. Her room was just as she had left it. It unmade sheets, the hum of the old ceiling fan, the silent chill in the air. She blinked, groggy, her body moving on instinct as she pushed the blankets away and swung her feet onto the cold wooden floor. A shiver ran up her spine. She shuffled towards the bathroom. The floor, creaking beneath her weight, The hallway was dark, but she knew the way. She had done this 1,000 times. The bathroom door groaned as she pushed it open, flickering the switch. Fluorescent light buzzed overhead, casting a sickly glow. Liz stared at her reflection in the mirror, her eyes shadowed, her skin pale. She turned the faucet, splashing cold water onto her face, the sensation sending a sharp jolt through her body, and then she woke up. The lamp glowed. The sheets were tangled. The fan hummed. Liz sat up, a strange tightness settling in her chest. Hadn't she just... She just rubbed her eyes. I made an error reading this. I just started filling it in. I wrote this. I should know. She rubbed her temples. The grogginess hadn't faded. She just got up, walked the same path, the floor creaking under her bare feet. The hallways was dark. The bathroom light flickered as it buzzed to life. She leaned over the sink, the cold water washing away the heaviness of sleep. Her reflection looked back at her, hollowed eyes. She turned off the tap and reached for the light switch, and then she woke up. Liz shot up in bed, breath uneven. A cold dread slithered through her veins, and she looked at the lamp, the fan, the sheets, the same, all the same. Her hands trembled as she pushed the blankets off. She forced herself to move, each step heavier than the last. The hallway stretched longer this time, the shadows yawning deeper. The bathroom light buzzed on. The mirror was fogged, though she hadn't taken a shower. The sink dripped. The plink, plink echoed in the small space. Then she heard it, a whisper, just behind her. Liz spun, heart humming, but the bathroom was empty. And then she woke up. She crawled at her sheets, but her breath coming in short gasps. Her pulse pounded against her skull. No, this wasn't right. The room was colder. The ceiling fan was still, its blades frozen in place. The hallway stretched into darkness. The bathroom door half open, waiting. She swallowed hard, willing her body to stay still, to resist the pull of routine, but something yanked her forward. The floorboards groaned louder beneath her feet. The shadows in the hallways twitched, shifting as though something moved just beyond her sight. In the bathroom, the mirror was no longer fogged. It was cracked. Fractures spread from the center like a spiderweb. Liv stepped closer, her breath shaky, and the reflection did not move with her. And then she woke up. This time, she didn't get up immediately. Her ears strained, waiting for something, anything to tell her what was happening. A creak, not from her bed, from the hallway. Something was in the house, watching, waiting. She forced herself to move, her limbs sluggish. The bathroom door loomed before her. The air inside was thick and heavy. The mirror was shattered now, shards, littering the sink and corners of the room where the light barely reached. Something stared. A shape, a presence. She backed away, her breath ragged, and then she woke up. Liz screamed, fist pounding the mattress. Tears blurred her vision. She wasn't asleep. She wasn't awake. She was trapped. She thought of the doctor, the one from before, from the real world. Or was that a dream too? A faceless figure sat behind a desk, its mouth the only feature. Lips moved, forming words that slithered through her mind. Parasomnia, a dream you cannot wake from. Liz's grasp yanked back into the nightmare. Her fingers dug into the sheets. She had to wake up. But how? A memory surfaced, an old wise tale. If you die in a dream, you wake up. Liz forced herself to stand, her body heavy with exhaustion. She stumbled to the bathroom, each step a battle against the invisible force, pulling her deeper into the nightmare. The mirror was gone. Only darkness stared back. On the counter, a pair of scissors lie waiting. Her fingers closed around the cold metal. Her heart pounded but determined. She steadied her hand. A whisper crawled around her ear, soft as silk. If you had been kinder, your soul would not have been mine. The shadows in the corner shifted. Something unseen moved closer. Liz clenched her jaw and drove the blade into her side, and then she did not wake up. So, that is the end of the story. It goes into entry 2 after that, which is not ready for reading yet. But this was amazing. Writing this was such a trip for me. It was based on a nightmare that I've had or have had multiple times. And I wanted to twist it. I wanted to, elongate it. I wanted it to be something unique as a story. And there's a few things we'll go through during the story that I love that add a little bit of spice to the overarching story of these short stories. The fact that you don't see the entity, you don't physically interact with the entity is so nice. It's terrifying. Not knowing is more scary than knowing in some cases. And each of these things have to do with wisdom and tricks. And I'll explain the little plot twists and stuff that come out. But the entity, the coyote, is what you're probably going to be thinking through. I'm not going to confirm or deny. Says, if you had been kinder, your soul would not have been mine. Now, that is a slight bit of wisdom because it's, if you notice certain actions, certain fidgets, the doctor, she was not a kind person. She was greedy, she was mean, she only cared about herself, routine, and precision. Her sin was only caring about herself. And the coyote gives you the opportunity to be better. That's the idea. And so this is not her whole story. There's going to be hints throughout the book about more about her and what led up to this point. Because this is at the end of Liz's story, and Liz as a character is so much more. And there's going to be Easter eggs and stuff like that at the end. The last 3 pages of this book are going to be dedicated to you trying to figure out and solve the overarching story. Some of the stories are close-ended, some of the stories are not. And that is left up to interpretation, into studying, into researching, into figuring out what is going on. But the trick of the wisdoming trick of the coyote was she woke up. She realized that her actions were not good. Her actions were not what she should be doing. She should be a better person. Reminiscing that she is not perfect herself. She is not okay herself. So it lets her go. But she did not realize that because it was a loop, the trickster tricked her. And she ended up taking up her own life. And that is one of the greatest twists that I've written in a long time. And if you guys don't know, I did go to Toronto Film School initially for video game engineering to develop games, to make games, but I fell in love with story writing and I pursued that path more. I still can make a game flawlessly, epically, but it takes a lot of time for me. which I am working on one right now. As you guys know, there's a scared to read about it. Um, but this is a not, it is not short as in the fact that it's like a short story. It's pretty long because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages long. Its short stories tend to be 2 to 3 pages long. This is 6 stories. This is like a medium story, or like, I don't know if you call it a medium story, because a medium story is 30 to 60 pages, which is just a book to me, to be honest. But this was really good, and it being called Wake Up is very, very nice, because there's a reason why it is called that. Wake Up. Whispers. This one's a lot longer, as you see. This one's a lot longer. Um, but there's tricks within the book to make you think where the book's going, and there's some symbols and things you can use in this. And I'll leave this up to you guys for who have watched this to figure out little things, because you can make some letters, like there's an N here, there's a here, there's a U here, there's an S, there's hidden little things around here to help you complete your story of the Diary of the Coyote. This is one of my favorite things that I've written in a long time. I love the art to this, I love the world to this, and I love that it has an ego of its own. And I know it's not direct to the lore of the entity, but I like the idea of the entity. I could have used Mephisto. I could have used 1,000 different, like, trickster demons and stuff like that. But there's something about the coyote that offers a person the chance to change, but provides the wisdom through a lesson. And if not taken, it is tricked. Now, it doesn't always receive the same punishment. Not always do they lose themselves. She was let go. She had the opportunity to be free. She took her own life. She was not killed. Where in our other story, The Whispers is completely different. It is a lot longer. This one is more of a LGBTQ plus IQ plus story that's based off of forbidden love or sins or etc. Writing this was a little bit hard for me, being a member of that. I am a member of the LGBTQ AI plus. Um, and writing this story was really good to put frustrating fear and anger into. It's just really cool. And I know you probably guys are quickly pausing and reading this. If you really like that last story, you'll probably click and read through this. This one is not done. It is kind of done, but it's not done. I have to go through and change, capitalize certain things, and little Easter eggs that I have to put in through there. I want to add little scratch writings through the book. I want to change the book background itself. I like the red and black writing, but I don't want it to be red and black. I want it to be like kind of dark borders with gray in it, and it looks all grainy and scratchy, just like it's an old book that has been found. But the second one, Whispers, is based on Max and Chris. Chris is spelled different because I want to find a unique name, but I like Chris, the name. Like, Chris is good. So Chris is spelled Kris for me. It's about two people who get lost in the woods and don't have the opportunity to change. There's a little difference, but this one is a lot longer. So let's count the pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10 pages long. It's 4 pages longer, I believe, and there's a lot longer text in each of these. And I just want to read a phrase from the entity in this. Love isn't something you should keep to yourself, the voice echoed, low and chilling. It's meant to be shared. And then there's another one. Um, that is another thing from the entity itself. But this entity strictly reaches out to the creature, to the people. So, again, this was a shorter, scared to read. I did enjoy making this book. It was fun. I loved it. There's more to come. There's more to come. I swear there's more to come. I'm going to be updating this as we go. We're going to be skipping the Whispers, and we're going to be going into another story later. The Whispers is probably one of the greatest stories I have wrote. It is really good. As much as I thought this was good at the time, The Whispers is 1,000 times better. And I loved it. I loved it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. This has been Scared to Read. Remember, leave a light on, keep your toes tucked in, and don't check under the bed. Have a wonderful day.